So me and my girlfriend just got done watching Markiplier, aka Fishbox, Iron Lung, that we were both like curious about. I was a little skeptical at first just because of the trailer didn't really look all that great, honestly. And I played the game, and my girlfriend has watched the walkthrough of Markiplier's Iron Lung. I thought the game was like fine. It was not that bad. It's just more so just on the submarine, just control this small submarine, trying to collect a bunch of details, a lot of information, and when it led to the ending, I was like, oh, okay. Like, didn't know it was like really short, but I know that what people liked about the game was the lore, which for the longest time, I was like, yeah, I'm sure the lore is good, but I didn't really care. But I think before getting ready for Markiplier's Iron Lung, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to watch the lore just to, like, get myself a little prepared for this movie. Because I'm not sure if this movie was going to give me any lore or anything like that. But we got to be prepared what we can. And I know my girlfriend, when she saw the walkthrough video of Markiplier, she didn't like it.
No, I wasn't a fan of it. It wasn't my style of game.
Yeah, like it didn't look like the type of game you were into, whether it be like watching wise, and the graphics didn't look all that great. Just seemed like kind of like a boring game for you.
Yeah. It just, I think it was like the retro look, and then just the back and forth, and then you kind of had to figure out which directions you were going, and
yeah,
that was just not a me game. But it was fun watching him play it.
Yes.
Like, so it's just I'm broke, I can't afford no games.
And it's what?
Because I'm broke and I can't.
Oh, I mean it's like a few bucks.
Yeah.
And it's like relatively short. And I remember like Iron Lung has been in development for, at least the movie, for years. For freaking years. Like it was completely like, I don't know, like a few years ago, just distribution wise, it was a struggle for him to like really get this movie into theaters until I guess you had one that's like, okay, screw it, I'm just gonna just do my own thing and just release it in independent theaters. That to the point that when that happened, that's when like more theaters comes in, expands to the point it was like over 1,000 to maybe close to 2,000 theaters, and now it's like, well, now it's like the #1 movie in America as of today, which is pretty exciting. It made more, because I looked at it, it made more money than Sam Raimi's Send Help, which is crazy. But then again, that's just due to the dedicated fan base.
Yeah, everybody loves Markiplier.
Yeah, and it's like I haven't watched Markiplier's videos in so long. I think just because I just like kind of like grew out of it as I got older, just got busy with other stuff. But I wasn't interested and want to watch this just because it's Markiplier's first movie out in theaters, and it's a video game because we recently just like yesterday we got Return to Silent Hill, so I figured we could just go watch this film as well. It was not intended first, but kind of just like make things interesting. But regardless, we'll get into like non-spoilers, because there's a few to say, but until we get to like actual spoilers. So till then, what do you think of this movie?
I thought it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I was engaged the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There were parts of it where I was getting kind of confused, but after, still staying with it, I was able to get back onto it. Visually, it was nice. It was dark at times, but I think that was what he was going for. I mean, you're in basically a tank.
Yes.
So it makes sense. And then, but overall, yeah, no, I was proud of him. Very proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicated fan there.
Yeah. I could definitely say that this is way better than Return to Silent Hill. Way better than Return to Silent Hill. I didn't think it was actually that bad. Like my mutuals were like a little negative of the film, which I was like a little scared. But then like watching the movie, I think it's actually not that bad. Like I do like the production design of the submarine itself. I do like that it actually did give you like a lot of explanation just in case. I think it like when I was watching that lore video, like there's like a lot I knew I missed, and the movie I think helped a lot.
Yes, absolutely.
In terms of like, well, also adding some things that we'll get to later, that's not from the game or that I'm familiar of, and I think that when it got to the start of things, I was really interested in where it was going. I do think that Markiplier's acting, for the most part, was actually pretty solid.
I actually thought it was really good.
There's some parts I feel like it falls a little flat, or at least a little rough around the edges. But for the most part, it was better than I thought from his acting.
His anger was really good.
Yes.
When it got down to that, like I think he was trying to shed a tear. And he was struggling with that, but that is really hard to do.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But
I agree with that, and I do think that the voice acting in this movie is just top notch. I was really with these actors, like giving all 100% committed to this project. That I was really liking their performances. I really like that, and I like the suspense of it. I was getting like a little eerie. Like, I love this. The camera work of this movie is just insanely good.
it was.
That for a movie that's over 2 hours long, that is just taking place essentially just in a small submarine, they find a way to make like a lot of these shots like very memorable. Even to the point, there's some points I'm like, I wonder if they just had like a nano or mini camera, because there's some shots that involves like
a GoPro style.
Maybe like it's like you see like his hands like really big and ginormous like person. It like make you feel like an ant. It was so impressive at how it looked that really felt unlike Return to Silent Hill. This felt like this was made by someone who actually cared about this game and really wanted to do justice to it. When the filmmaker adds something to it, it actually like feels like it's in a similar feeling, a realm as the game itself. As long as it has the similar vibe and expand upon it and do something a little different that the game has never like used. I'm okay with that. Just as long as if it just got the mood down, the atmosphere done, that's fine by that. That's fine by me. And I was like into it for the most part. There were some points that I did get really bored at times. It felt a little too slow at times for me, even though I was still like kind of interested where it's going. But there's some points I'm just like maybe in the middle area, and I'm just like, okay, can we speed this up a little bit, because I'm like getting a little dreary at times.
I have to say, I don't think I was bored at any of the times.
Okay.
I think I was more like, okay, what's he gonna do next?
Mm-hmm.
What's next? What's gonna happen? What are they gonna say? What is he gonna find? And
because there's a lot of this like movie that builds so much of a story that for people who just like play the game just only for the gameplay and not the lore, that would be like kind of like, whoa, I did not know that's in my game.
Yeah.
I thought I was just finding some stuff, but then the movie actually explains the lore, which is actually like really nice. And at first I was like, okay, so you're gonna do not only the gameplay but also the lore. And I'm like, okay, how are you gonna make this into a 2-hour film? No, there's just so much lore going on in the game. But I think the movie did a pretty good job of giving us like mostly a clear idea of the game itself in its whole entirety, from the story, from the lore, from the backstory, from the main character himself, that I'm gonna assume is probably a new one, because I don't think that in the game Markiplier's character was like based on anything from the game. I'm not 100% sure, but it was interesting how the movie just kind of adds onto the main character. That was really cool. And it got like really tense at points. It was getting like suspense. The soundtrack was just like getting Getting me in this shit.
I was a fan of that, for sure.
Oh my god, like, this was definitely made by a video game composer, and he did a great job making this feel cinematic for this movie.
I mean, I think, too, it wasn't like what you see in a lot of scary movies where it's like, oh, the music's ramping up, something's gonna happen. No, it literally flowed with you.
Yes.
And I thought that was really cool. Because even some video games, you'd be like, oh, I'm going to literally get to a boss because, you know, dun dun dun.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm all like, it was almost consistent throughout the whole thing. So you weren't sure, like, what was going to happen.
Yes. And like when there are points where it's getting like the summer's getting close to hitting something, the music's going with it. And I was like feeling it in my freaking body. I was like, oh. It was... It was awesome. It was very awesome to see, like, the music correlate with the presentation of the movie, of the scene that felt super fitting, that I was super into. And in case, like, you know, people were like, oh man, I was disappointed that Return to Silent Hill doesn't have, like, gore effects in this. This movie will definitely give you that. At least by the final act of the film. Like, we definitely now understand why this movie is now considered the bloodiest movie ever made.
Oh, yeah.
Because, holy shit, there's a lot of blood.
There was. And I like it, too. It starts subtle. And then ramps up. And then it gets just more and more. But you almost forget about it.
Yes.
Until it, like, pans around the room. You're like, wait a minute. That wasn't there before. What?
It was, like... really insane in terms of the amount of blood being in this movie, that I haven't seen anything like this.
Yeah.
That's like, I've seen so many horror films. I've seen like Evil Dead, The Descent, Brain Dead. Like nothing like had this amount of blood like this, and even the gore effects were like, even there's some points I was like, ooh, it was like getting to me. Even the makeup effects, I'm sure if I would get to you, because, like, what? There's, like, some holes.
Yeah, there was a couple little hole parts, but nothing that made me squeamish, though.
Okay.
Not like you.
Well, look, it looked real. It looked good. So I was like, oh my goodness, I was really feeling that in my soul. And I really was liking throughout the film, despite the fact there are some, like I said, some pacing issues in the middle. I was like really getting bored at times, and there's like one point I thought was really silly, but that's when we get to spoilers. That honestly, we'll just get into the spoilers as right now. We both recommend it, we both liked it, but now we're gonna get to spoilers. So I didn't think the movie was gonna get psychological to the point like it felt like Dead Space 2 in terms of like this hallucination, in terms of like Mark talking to the radio. Not sure if it's like... It
wasn't a hallucination though.
Yes.
He was talking to the thing down there.
Like at first it seemed like a hallucination. At first.
Yes.
And then we found out like later on that it was actually like the demon, the monster talking to Markiplier. Which there were some distorted audio moments that honestly I hope you heard what this monster was saying, because I couldn't at times.
Yeah, it was basically like, you know, if you come with me, we can save humanity. You know, don't tell them our secrets. That's for us. If you do that, everything is ruined. Basically trying to gaslight, you know,
Isaac. No, not Isaac.
Samson? No. Simon. It is. Simon. He only said his name like 3 times. Simon into, you know, following him. So it's basically like, if you think about it, like the devil trying to, you know, convince you to sin or whatever.
Yeah.
Come to the dark side.
Especially when the movie does like talk about like the rapture, the quiet rapture, and how like you see like the actual effect of the quiet rapture. That was really cool.
Yes. And then like in the one part where he sees the eyeball, I think that's like
of the creature.
I'll show you the whole new, almost like I'll show you the new world of what it can be, but in reality it's literally just covered in blood and misery and loneliness is what I got from it.
And And it does into like religion too, which I kind of expect knowing what like the lore of it's supposed to be. But I think what it tackles and what it's like trying to say in this movie was like pretty interesting, especially knowing the fact that it's coming from a monster saying all this stuff makes it all the more interesting. And
monster with really sharp teeth. First time they like actually like saw it, it made me think of an anglerfish.
Which is what the game was too. When the monster looked like an anglerfish. I think that might have been the frog.
It just made me laugh.
But the thing is, I don't think they showed like, I don't know if they showed the dragon in the movie that was from the game. The one that like has the picture, you see the eye and looks very like reptilious looking.
I think that was what was in the glass.
Okay. It could be, yeah, it could be a possibility. And I do like that the movie was like, okay, it can't just be like just about Mark in the submarine trying to find some things. Like, no, he actually does have like a radio that's talking to him, and I think that adds some like good scenes, good conversations, good acting from the voice actors that I feel like that's a small change from the game, but I think it worked fine. I think it still felt, it didn't felt different enough where I'm like, this doesn't feel like Iron Lung.
I think they needed to add it because
exactly.
If it was just him in there by himself the whole movie, you would have lost me.
It would have been boring.
I would have been like, okay, so now he's just going to talk to himself. Can he confirm what he's seeing?
Mm-hmm.
How does he know what to do and all this stuff? Like, I think adding the box was really important.
Yes. And, of course, him having a conversation with the monster or demon was really cool as well. That, like, at first I was like, because I did kind of figure, like, with it, like, the radio usually has this thing, like, when it's on, or when someone's talking, the light is on. I kind of figure when it's off, I'm like, oh, yeah, no, Mark's not talking to anyone. Or, quote-unquote, not talking to anyone.
Yeah.
At first.
Which is what it was.
Yes.
And that's how it was through the whole movie.
Yes. Which was really cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, finding out, like, more about, like, the AT-8, more of the other submarine was really cool. Finding out about the information regarding, like, other submarines and how, like, Ava, the character that's talking to Simon, was, like, got new information about the ocean, the blood ocean.
Yeah.
And it turns out, and then she's like willing to risk her life for the information, despite the fact that she kept lying to him so many times that, oh yeah, you're gonna be safe, you're gonna be free, and he's not. And the fact that he's a convict too was like, it's like, damn, that's crazy.
But I liked it though how it did the whole. I really am innocent because the world framed me and convinced us that it was my fault when in reality it was just human error. And I would have liked more. I would have, like, every time they said, well, what happened? He's like, I don't want to talk about it. I would like you to give me a little bit more of a breakdown instead of just the flashbacks. Because those who didn't really pay too much attention or didn't look up the lore and stuff aren't going to have that information.
No. It give you, like, more information in the lore than, like, people who just regularly play the game for the gameplay.
Yeah.
They're definitely gonna get something of it, but they will be, like, confused. I do like that when we get into his backstory in terms of, like, him as a kid, it's like it was almost, like, indoctrinated to this, like, religious, like, factor to it.
Yeah.
Which was really cool. Again, giving me Dead Space vibes. I really feel like at times this was giving me, like, really Dead Space, and I was really into that. That point, I'm just like, you know, if Markiplier wants to make a Dead Space movie,
I'll watch it.
I watch it. It'd be a lot more, it'd be, like, different, and it'd be more difficult than Iron Lung, but I still think what they did with Iron Lung here was not bad, and lead to something very promising for Mark's career. And the final act, I did, and it turns out, like, the transaction, knowing the fact the transaction is like, oh, turns out, like, this blood moon and the blood that they're in is human blood, which is insane. But I'm glad that the movie brought that up, because, like, if anyone who played the game knows that it's human blood, but, like, I wasn't sure if the movie's gonna bring that up. But they did. And, like, and the ATA or whatever that submarine, the other submarines, like, Like, they knew the dangers of this thing, but they still make us go down there.
Yeah.
That's pretty fucked, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like, the monsters, like, say, like, don't, like, no, don't, like,
Don't listen to her.
don't listen. I will, and this is where it does get, like, a little silly. It's like, you know, with the whole, like, give it to me, or something, give it to me. And then, like, the monster's, like, going after that person. It's like, no! And then, like, she essentially, like, died. But then the blood comes out the radio. I was like...
I think that was
That was silly.
the alien thing, just trying to seem like they killed her. I don't know.
Yeah.
They gave up still
I
alive.
get the idea of it. I just think the execution of it was a little silly. I was like, okay, really? We didn't really need that. I mean, like...
I didn't mind it.
I know, but that's just something I was like, I don't know. I get it, but no. And then, like, the ending of the final act of the movie was just, like, just non-stop crazy.
But let's be real. If your arm gets ripped off, it's not going to be that easy. 2, you are going to bleed out pretty fast. He fought with that monster for a long time.
Like, there's no cauterizing that wound.
Like, yeah, you're just profusely just spitting out blood
Mm-hmm.
to fill up even faster in there. But, yeah, I was just kind of like, that's not realistic. But granted, being in a submarine at the bottom of a flood lake with a
Filled with,
monster,
like, carnage venom veins looking things from
Yeah.
Last of Us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's... But I will say his fight with, like, the monster was really satisfying.
So good.
It was so cool.
Like, I applaud Mark so much for this. You could tell he put so much effort and like, his all into it, with the help, of course, of everybody in it. Just did an amazing job. Like,
It was really...
it does go with what I was hoping for.
It felt like it was a movie that you could definitely tell Markiplier was very proud of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it definitely shows in the final work of it.
Oh yeah.
That I'm glad that our prediction of the ending wasn't that,
Yes.
because we thought it was gonna like end like the movie Buried, where he just gets like covered in blood. Technically, we were kind of right, but it was like a false ending.
It still goes with it. You're right.
Mhm.
But there was more to it.
Yes. And also, again, just, like, it's one of those false endings. Like, oh, you thought he'd die, but it turns out, like, it's just showing him, like, a vision of this, like, other world that is, like, so many visuals going on. I mean, it did get a little dark. I'm like, I can't see what's going on.
Granted, I don't think he was gonna live anyways because he drank whatever was in that bottle.
Which is alcohol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because if it was medical alcohol, you can't drink it. You can't drink that alcohol.
Yeah? Yeah, well,
It's not alcohol.
what was it?
It was alcohol.
Yeah.
But not drinking alcohol. It was like to clean wounds. And
Okay.
disinfect. It wasn't like a, hey, let's go get drunk on a Saturday night.
Well, yeah. 70% alcohol. But, yeah, I did kind of like look it up on Wikipedia, and it did make a little more sense of what Markiplier was trying to do, or Simon was trying to do with the black box, because basically trying to hide the black box from the monster, because it wants him to destroy it.
No, he put the life vest on it so it would float to the surface.
Yes, he's trying to save the black box. He's trying to save it, so that way there's like at least like some hope of humanity. That I have no idea how. I mean, I generally do not know. Like, okay, but like, what's this gonna entail? How's this gonna? What is this essentially? Like, what is this gonna do?
Yeah.
Because it's like it gives you information, but it's not really like, I don't know, like there's nothing like concrete of the information that is like, okay, this is gonna save humanity.
Nope. It's all up to your faith, your imagination.
Your interpretation of it. But yeah, the psychological aspects of this movie was definitely the best part of the film. I really was like really into it. And of course I was still like into the movie. I just was like really bored at times, just some silly moments, some of the acting from Mark is not the best. But yeah, no, I think it's not bad.
I think people should see it.
I definitely think people should see it. Like, I'm glad that we saw it in theaters, because I generally thought it was just gonna be indie theaters. But it turns out to expand, so, you know, makes it more convenient for people.
Yeah.
But what would you give this movie?
I'll give it an 8.
An 8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I give this film like a high 6 to like a low 7.
Low?
Like I said, like when I was bored, I was really bored. I was like, oh.
I think it's weird.
And I think at times I felt like, man, I don't know, like maybe could trim this and make it a little faster. But like,
you had too high of expectations.
I actually had low expectations, because I generally was like, this better. I mean, of anything, I said this better be better than Return of Silent Hill. Like, even if I thought it was bad, at least it'd be better than Return of Silent Hill. So I had you had higher expectations than I did. Especially since the trailer, it was good, but I was worried by Mark's acting.
I knew he could do it because I've seen all his little miniseries.
Yeah, that probably helped for you than it did for me, because I didn't watch.
More of a fan of Markiplier than you are.
Well, obviously. I haven't.
And then the couple behind us, when he took his shirt off, they go, "Oh, I didn't know we were getting that kind of show."
Yeah, I did.
That was so funny.
I did hear that too. I was trying so hard not to laugh.
Like, ma'am, his wife was there.
Yeah. No. And the fact that like the movie just like starts right into the movie, no intro, no anything, it threw me off.
Everybody was kind of confused. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Is this it? Is this how it starts?
Which I was like,
no
okay.
introduction, no flash of the title, no nothing.
Just, I mean, we got Flash, all right. Just star flashing out.
Yeah. Here's some stars. Here's the story.
But I do like that it felt. I definitely felt. I like how faithful this movie is to the game,
Yes.
while still adding and expanding some things that may or may not be from the game, that I did felt like it worked well enough.
But I think it was needed.
That was definitely needed for pacing purposes, for story purposes. It's something that we really needed.
Yes.
So that's basically our thoughts on Iron Lung. What you think of Markiplier's first directing movie? I'm definitely, if he ever makes another movie, which I'm sure, because he's making a lot of money from this already. Like, he already made like 100% of the budget back, so that's awesome. But yeah, what did you guys think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment down, let me know, and I'll see you in the next review. Take care.